Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're learning how to make this simple pencil skirt with bow in front. The skirt is fully lined, it has a waistband and a zipper at the back. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below and subscribe to my channel. I have my fabric cut out already. It's in a fold of two. I will cut on the front and back panel together. The front panel it's in a fold and the back panel is also in a fold. So I folded this fabric using the widest part of my lower body, which is my hip measurement. So my hip circumference is 46 inches divided by 4, which is 11.5 inches. So on the front panel I have 11.5 inches on fold plus 2 extra inch for seam allowance, which is 13.5 inches on fold. Then the back panel is 1 inch bigger than the front panel because of the zipper allowance at the back. So the back panel is 14.5 inches. I drew out a starting line at the top of my skirt. So right now I'm going to take the full length of the skirt. The full length of the skirt is 20 inches, but I'll be having a 1.5 inch band at the top. So I'll just go ahead and mark 18.5 inches here. So the remaining part of the fabric left is going to be used as turnover for the lining at the base. So you see that as time goes on. So I'll go ahead now and draw out a straight line. So when I add it up to the band, it's going to be 20 inches in length. So I'm going to take my measurement 1.5 inches above the starting line. So my waist to my hip measurement is 9 inches. So I'll go ahead now and mark 9 inches vertically. And then I'll roll a straight line there. So remember you're taking all these measurements on the front panel, not on the back panel. So right now, take our round body measurements. So my round waist measurement divided by 4 is 9.5 inches. And I'll add 2 extra inches to it. 1 for that, 1 inch for that, and 1 inch for seam allowance, which is 11.5 inches. Then my round hip measurement divided by 4 is 11.5 inches plus 2 inches extra, which is 13.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark it there. And then on the full length of the skirt, I'll just come and put my round hip measurement divided by 4, which is 11.5 inches. So right now I'm going to go ahead and connect the 3 points together. So connect the waist point to meet the hip line. And I'll just connect the hip line down to the full length using my ruler. So after connecting the 3 points, this is what it looks like. Remember, we took all the round body measurements from the front panel, not from the zipper allowance. So the next thing now is to cut it out. So cut out the skirt following the line like this. So after cutting out, this is what you should have. So I'll just go ahead and separate the front panel from the back panel. So when I open up, this is what it looks like. So by the time I fold in this fabric, they were going to have the normal length of the skirt. So I'll just go ahead and notch the point where I want my skirt to stop. I'll go ahead and notch the full length of the skirt so that I would know when turning over with my lining. So for the back panel, I'll go ahead and divide it into 2 because of the zip allowance at the back. Then I'm also going to go ahead to notch out the full length of the skirt on the back panel. So when I'm attaching my lining to it, I know where to stop the folding. So it's going to look this way on the wrong side after I'm done sewing the skirt. So after cutting out on the front panel, I'm just going to come down by 1 inch on the closed angle. This is just going to help our skirt sit very well on our waist. You are doing this for the front panel alone. Then I'll connect it to meet the top of the skirt, as you can see in the video. So connect it this way, forming a slant. Then I'll just go ahead to cut it out. This is to give the skirt a perfect fit on the waist. Go ahead and cut it out. So you should have something like this after cutting out. The next thing I want to do now is to measure the amount of fabric we'll be needing for our lining. So fold in the lower part of the skirt to the full length, as you can see in the video. You can also secure it with your pin to get an accurate measurement. So just go ahead and measure it down to know the amount of fabric I'll be needing. So I have 15.5 inches here. So that means I'll be cutting out 15.5 inches of lining. So I'll just go ahead to cut out the lining for the front and the back panel. So after cutting out the lining, this is what it looks like. So by the time I fold in at the base this way, this is what it's going to look like on the wrong side. So I'm just going to place the right sides facing each other. Right side of the skirt facing the right side of the lining this way. Then I'm going to fold in my skirt to the full length, the part I notched this way. Then I'll sew it to my lining this way, as you can see in the video. Sew it this way using half an inch all the way down. So to the other side. Then I'll also go ahead to sew both sides and also close up the waist. So I'll leave a small space at the base for turning over. I'll sew up the waist. I'll do the same thing for the back panel and show you guys when I'm done. After sewing up the lining, this is what we have. This is the front panel. So I also went ahead to leave a space at the top for turning over. I did the same thing for the back panels, as you can see. So I'll just go ahead now and turn it over to the right side. So turn it over now to the right side. So after turning over, this is what we have. This is what it looks like on the right side. And this is what it looks like on the wrong side. So you can see how neat it looks. So I'll just go ahead and close up this part. This is my sewing machine. I'll turn over the back panels now and show you guys what it looks like. So after turning over the back panels, this is what it looks like. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. So I'll just go ahead now and set the back panel aside so that I can mark my darts on the front panel. So close up the fabric this way. And I'll go ahead now to mark my darts. So for the darts, I'm just going to come over to the closed angle of the skirt and mark my nipple to nipple measurements divided by 2, which is 4 inches. And then I'm going to come down by 4 inches from that point and draw a straight line. And I'll take out half an inch on both sides, as you can see, and then I'll connect it down to meet this line, as you can see in the video. I'll flip it over now and mark the same thing on the other side. Take half an inch on both sides and then connect it down. So to sew up the dart, I'll just close up the points like this and sew on the point I marked on the line I drew. So I'll set the front panel aside now and move over to the back panel. So I'll place the right side facing each other this way. I want to place my zipper point. So I'll place my tape rule 1.5 inches above the starting line because of my waistband. So I want my zip to stop on the 9 inches mark. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 9 inches. So remember our zip allowance is 1 inch. So I'll mark the 1 inch point there. And then I'll roll a straight line down to the point where the lining stopped, because that is where I want my slit to start from. So that part is going to be opened. So my slit is going to start at that point and my zip will stop on the 9 inches mark. So when I'm done doing that, sewing the dart and joining the back panel, I'll show you guys. So I've sewn in the dart for the front panel and this is what it looks like. Then I've also gone ahead to join up the back pieces together, just like I explained. So this is going to be a slit opening at the base, and this is the zipper opening where we'll be attaching our zip. The next thing I want to show you guys now is how to attach your bow. So I have this fabric cut out already. I'm gonna head to close up the two sides and turn it over, as you can see. So the length of this fabric is 27 inches and the wideness and the depth is 12 inches. So how did I get the length of the fabric to cut out? I went ahead to measure what I have on my hip measurements, which is about 25 inches. Just added extra 2 inches to the length of the fabric I'll be using for my bow. So what I'm going to do now is to place the fabric on my skirt this way. So from the waistline, I would come down by 4 inches. But although I later made an adjustment to this bow, which I'll explain later. So instead of 4 inches, I actually used 2 inches. So depending on the length of your skirt, if the skirt is longer than this, I would use 4 inches. But since the skirt is a short skirt, I used 2 inches. So attach it with your pin to your skirt this way. So you can see that after attaching the fabric to your skirt, there's some extra fabric left in front for us to form our bow easily. So just go ahead now, folding the fabric this way. We have about 1.5 inch extra. Then I will join the front and the back panel. So I'll place my back panel on my front panel, right sides facing each other this way. Then I'll just align it on both sides like this. And the next thing you want to do now is to mark out your round body measurement. So first of all, I'm just going to take my hip measurement down, which is 9 inches from the waist. Then I'll go ahead to mark my round body measurement. So my round body measurement divided by 2 is 19 inches, but I have 21 inches here. So that means I have 2 extra inch. So I'm going to just take out 1 inch on both sides. Take out 1 inch on both sides. So at the end of the day, what I have there is the exact 19 inches. So on my hip line, I have about 25 inches here. And my hip measurement divided by 2 is 23 inches. So I have extra 2 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark 1 inch on both sides. So I'll connect the points together. I'll connect it all the way down to the full length of the skirt, maintaining the same 1 inch allowance. So I just take it to my sewing machine now and join the two sides together. So when I'm done with that, I'll show you guys the next thing to do. After joining our front and back piece together, this is what it looks like. So like I said earlier, I made a little adjustment to the bow. Instead of 4 inches, I came down by 2 inches instead. This is because so that when I attach the band, I'm still going to have almost the same thing as the 4 inches. So this is what it's going to look like after we form our bow in front. So the next one we want to do now is to attach our waistband to the skirt. So I have this fabric cut out already. It's about 40 inches in length. And I'm going to fold it into, I'm going to attach my paper stay to it. I have it cut out already. So I'll iron my paper stay on this waistband just to make it firm. So fold up the fabric this way. So after folding, I make sure I have about 1 extra inches to it because of the joining allowance. So how to attach your waistband to your skirt? So place the right side of your waistband facing the wrong side of your skirt, as you can see in the video. Then go ahead to use 1/2 inch to join it together all the way around. You can decide to secure with your pin before doing that. So join it all the way around using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Then when you're done with that, you just turn it over this way. Fold it in again by another 1/2 inch and sew directly on the waistline. So I'm going to attach my paper stay to this fabric before I do this. Just wanted to explain it. So when I'm done with it, I'll show you guys what it looks like. After attaching the band to the waist of our skirt, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So I'm just going to show you guys now how to form your bow in front. So I have this piece of fabric cut out already. I'm just going to gather the fabric this way. Make sure you're doing it at the center, and then I would just wrap this fabric around it this way, and I'll take my pin and secure it. I'll be using my hand needle to finish up to join it together. to it. So this is the bow effect in front, as you can see. So the last thing we want to do now is to attach our zip to the skirt. So I'll just turn it over to the wrong side to show you guys the full lining finishing. So you can see how the wrong side of the skirt is neat. All we just need to do is to give it a good press and everything will look so beautiful. So for the zipper at the back, so I have my zip already. Yeah, so just go ahead now. This is the wrong side of the zip, so I'll go ahead and place it on my skirt this way. Remember, we're using 1 inch sewing allowance. I'll place it in this way, and then I'll sew it all the way down. I'll do the same thing for the other side. So by the time you're done, you should have something like this. So I'll show you guys what the finished product. So guys, this is the finished product of our fully lined pencil skirt with bow in front. You can see how beautiful it looks after we gave it a good press. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.